August 7th, 1944. 2:47 p.m., 5 miles south of Mortagne, France. Oberleutnant Klaus Weber sits in the commander's cupola of his Panzer IV, scanning the bocage through Zeiss binoculars. 23 years old, 2 years on the Eastern Front, decorated at Kursk. Now with Panzer Lehr Division, supposedly the best-trained tank crews in the Wehrmacht. Movement catches his eye. An American jeep, maybe 600 meters distant. It appears at a gap in the hedgerow, pauses 3 seconds, disappears into the tree line. Contact. Reconnaissance vehicle, his gunner reports. Should we engage? Weber considers. A jeep. 2 men. Not worth revealing their position. No. Let it go. The crew relaxes. The war has taught Weber that small patrols mean nothing. Real threats come from artillery, air strikes, massed armor. A single jeep? Irrelevant. What Weber doesn't know is that the jeep carried a radio, and in exactly 90 seconds his war will be over. North Africa, February 17, 1943, near Kasserine Pass. Lieutenant Arthur Edson crouches behind his M3 gun mount, a 75mm cannon bolted to a half-track. This is what America initially fielded as tank destroyers. Decent gun, decent mobility. Armor that might stop rifle rounds if you're lucky. Through binoculars, Edson sees his nightmare. 50 panzers advancing in column along the Gafsa highway. Mark the 4s and Mark 3s moving fast, heading straight for American positions. The problem with towed guns is they can't maneuver under fire. You dig in. You hope the enemy comes to you. When they don't cooperate, you're finished. Engage, Edson orders. Staff Sergeant John Spence's crew opens fire. The 75mm barks. First round misses. Second hits a Mark IV's turret, glancing blow, no damage. Then the German tanks spot them. 50 guns return fire. High explosive and armor-piercing rounds bracket the half-track positions. One M3 explodes, machine guns rake Spence's position. The loader takes a bullet. The gunner dies instantly. "Withdraw!" Edson screams. But you can't withdraw fast when you're already under fire. German fire cuts them down. By the time survivors reach safety, the 601st Tank Destroyer Battalion has lost multiple guns, vehicles scattered, crews dead or captured. The lesson is written in blood. Tank destroyers need real mobility, the kind that lets you pick the engagement, the kind that gives you a chance. Camp Hood, Texas, November 1943. The M18 Hellcat arrives. Sergeant Roy Robertson stares at one, not quite believing the specifications. Weight, 40,000 pounds, half the weight of an M10, a third of a Sherman. Top speed, 50 miles per hour. The fastest tracked vehicle in the American arsenal. Armor, half an inch on the hull front. The trade-off is obvious. Speed and firepower for protection. General Bruce, architect of tank destroyer doctrine, explains with characteristic bluntness. The destroyer doesn't have the tank's armor, but it commands greater speed, visibility, and maneuverability. It picks the time and place to deliver its punch and then hightails it away. One officer objects. But German guns will punch through half an inch like tissue paper. Then don't get hit, Bruce replies. Hit him behind the ear with brass knuckles, then disappear before he turns around. But doctrine means nothing without execution, and execution requires communication. Staff Sergeant William Harper, 601st Tank Destroyer Battalion Reconnaissance Company, explains the system to replacements. We're the eyes. We go ahead 1,500 yards. The moment we see German armor, we transmit immediately. He taps the SCR 300 radio mounted in his jeep. We broadcast on the battalion net. Battalion headquarters plots the enemy. Gun companies move to firing positions. Infantry is alerted. Artillery computes solutions. Everyone knows simultaneously. He pulls out a stopwatch. From spotting enemy armor to first gun ready to fire, 90 seconds, that's the standard. A replacement looks skeptical. 90 seconds? 400 to 800 yards displacement, Harper explains. An M18 at 50 miles per hour covers that in well under a minute. Add 30 seconds for the radio call and target acquisition, 90 seconds total. The real advantage isn't just speed, it's coordination. Captain Thomas Evans, 704th Tank Destroyer Battalion. When recon reports contact, everyone knows simultaneously. We're not waiting for orders, we're reacting in real time. He sketches the standard formation. Reconnaissance up front, tanks next, M18s 400 yards back, infantry, artillery. We stay back because our guns have longer range. But the moment recon spots enemy armor, we move forward and maneuver for flanking positions. It's choreographed, rehearsed, drilled until every crew can execute in their sleep. And in August 1944, the doctrine is finally tested. July 29, 1944, 10:42 a.m., 5 miles southeast of Coutances. Sergeant Schedevy sits in his M18 Hellcat, part of the 704th Tank Destroyer Battalion. The 4th Armored Division is breaking out from Normandy, advancing for 36 hours with barely a stop. The radio crackles. Contact, Panzer Mark IV, grid reference 327518, engaged friendly half-tracks, 5 vehicles burning. Lieutenant Addison. 2nd Platoon, move up. Schedevy, your lead. Roger. Driver Beck accelerates. 800 yards to target, call it 70 seconds. Schedevy scans through binoculars. Burning half-tracks visible. And there, German tank, Mark IV, hull down beside a stone building. Target acquired. Panzer 11 o'clock, 400 yards. Beck maneuvers, throwing the M18 into a sharp turn. Gunner Corporal Treat has the Mark IV in his sights. Fire! The 76-meter gun cracks. Through the smoke, Schedevy sees the round hit the turret at the weakest point. The shell penetrates. Smoke pours from hatches. Crew bails out, uniforms burning. Target destroyed. From first sighting to kill. 87 seconds. The first, kill for the 704th. Many more will follow. December 17, 1944, 5:47 a.m. Hill overlooking Auen, Belgium, Lieutenant Dan Orr's recon platoon arrives at what should be their observation post. Germans got here first. Small arms fire erupts. Then Orr sees them, dark shapes cresting the hill, 18 panzers, maybe more. This is the opening of the Battle of the Bulge. Orr has stumbled into the spearhead. The correct decision: withdraw, report, let the gun companies engage from prepared positions. But the panzers will be in Auen in 10 minutes. The 112th Infantry Regiment is there, completely unaware. Orr decides. All units take firing positions, we're engaging. 2 M18s and 3 M20 armored cars. Against 18 panzers. But they have surprise. The Germans are silhouetted on the ridgeline. Fire at will! First round catches a panzer dead center. It erupts in flames, ammunition cooking off, lighting up the hilltop. Now the other Germans can see, but they're backlit by burning comrades, and Orr's crews are firing from darkness. 2nd Panzer explodes, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. German infantry flanks them, machine gun fire. The radio operator beside Orr takes a bullet and dies. 1 M18 is hit, crew killed instantly. Withdraw. Final count, 10 panzers destroyed, 7 Americans killed, 2 M18s wrecked. But Auen's attack is blunted. The 112th has time to prepare. The German timetable is disrupted. From first sighting to last shot, 94 seconds. Orr will receive the Silver Star. He won't care. The kid beside him was 19. November 17, 1944. 032 hours, 8999th Tank Destroyer Battalion CP. Major Hoyt Lawrence is awakened. Big contact, Panzer Lehr Division, multiple columns hitting the 9th Infantry. Lawrence studies the map. Panzer Lehr, veteran elite unit, 30-plus operational tanks, attacking in darkness when American air power is useless. Alert all companies, Lawrence orders. The radio net lights up. Not one platoon responding, an entire battalion converging on the threat. Sergeant Nicholas Peters' 1st Platoon, Company A, sits in his M10 alongside the 39th Infantry. It's Aero 347, still dark, engine rumble in the distance. Radio. Enemy armor, 3 columns, 800 meters. Peters sees them. Dark shapes, panthers. Contact confirmed, engaging. His gunner fires. The muzzle flash ruins Peters' night vision. When it clears, the lead panther is burning. The fire illuminates the column behind it. Every M10 opens fire simultaneously. Germans caught in a kill box illuminated by their own burning vehicles. 2nd Panther explodes. 3rd, the column tries to reverse, but burning vehicles block the road. German artillery falls on M10 positions. One takes a direct hit, crew killed. But the lead column is shattered. 800 yards south, Lieutenant Jack Lindenberg's platoon engages a 2nd column, 3 Tigers and 2 Mark IVs at 300 yards. Point-blank range in thick mist. The Tigers are advancing toward infantry. Positions. Frontal armor impenetrable, but their sides. Target Tiger, right flank. 1st round ricochets. 2nd penetrates below the turret ring. The Tiger stops. Hatches open. Crew evacuates. 2nd Tiger tries to pivot. Lindenberg's other M10 fires, hit. Smoke from the engine. The 3rd Tiger and both Mark IVs withdraw. By Euro 800, the German attack has stalled. 3 columns. 3 different TD companies engaging simultaneously. The coordination isn't perfect. Communications are spotty. But the network holds. Multiple panzers destroyed across all columns. The breakthrough is prevented. This is what 90 seconds means. Not invulnerability, not 0 losses. Just the ability to concentrate force faster than the enemy can exploit an opening. The German system is sophisticated. Every panzer has a radio, revolutionary in 1939. But when a panzer commander spots a threat, the process takes time. Assess situation, 30 to 45 seconds. Radio battalion command, 20 to 30 seconds. Battalion evaluates and decides, 60 seconds minimum. Orders transmitted, 30 to 45 seconds. Units maneuver to respond, 2 to 5 minutes. Total, 3 to 6 minutes from sighting to coordinated response. The American system is different. When Harper's recon spots panzers, he broadcasts immediately, "Contact, Panzer, Mark IV, grid 547328, advancing northwest." That transmission reaches everyone simultaneously. Battalion HQ, all gun companies, infantry, artillery, air support, 15 seconds, everyone knows. Gun companies don't wait for orders. They're already moving to pre-plotted positions. 40 to 60 seconds after the call, M18s are displacing. Another 30 seconds to reach firing positions, total. 90 seconds from sighting to rounds fired. The German column is still advancing. The panzer commander might not have even reported contact yet. American guns are already engaging from flanking positions. Lieutenant Alfred Rose, 814th Tank Destroyer Battalion demonstrates the extreme. December 1st, 1944. His M36 spots a panther 4,600 yards away, nearly 3 miles. Maximum range of his telescopic sight. Most tank engagements occur under 1,000 yards. At 4,600, hitting a moving target should be impossible. But the panther isn't moving. It's dug in. And Rose's network provides precise coordinates from forward observers. He fires 8 rounds, walking fire onto target based on radio corrections from observers who see the impacts. 8th round hits. At 4,600 yards, the Panther's crew never sees the muzzle flash, never knows where fire is coming from. They just die. This is what the network enables. Not just speed, coordination at ranges impossible for isolated vehicles. The doctrine isn't perfect. The 648th loses 17 M18s. The 705th loses 21 M10s. Crew casualties run high. Thin armor means any penetrating hit is catastrophic. German 75mm guns punch through M18 hulls effortlessly. Crews learn to fight from behind stone buildings, move forward just enough to acquire targets, fire, reverse immediately into cover. If in defensive positions, they cover open turrets with timber and sandbags. If advancing, they leave turrets open, easier to bail out when hit, because when an M18 takes a penetrating hit, you have seconds to escape before ammunition cooks off. The evolution reflects lessons learned in blood. Early war, towed guns. Too slow. Crews overrun. Mid-war, M10s. Better, but turret traverses slow. Manual, requiring 190 hand crank turns for full rotation. In close combat, that's lethal. Late war, M18 Hellcats. The doctrine perfected, 50-mile-per-hour speed. Turret traverse so fast, gunners make final corrections manually. Final months, M36s with 90mm guns. Finally able to penetrate Tiger and Panther frontal armor reliably. But even M36s aren't invincible. Tests show 90mm rounds sometimes bounce off Panther frontal armor at 150 yards. The answer isn't bigger guns, it's better tactics. By April 1945, German armor is increasingly rare, panzers running out of fuel, ammunition, trained crews. Tank destroyer battalions keep fighting, but the war they trained for, mobile tank battles and desperate defenses, is largely over. The network proved itself. The doctrine worked. The 90-second response time gave Americans the edge. Victory came at a cost measured in burning vehicles and young men who never made it home. August 7, 1944. 2:47 p.m. Return to where we began. Weber watches the American Jeep disappear. Dismisses it as irrelevant. What he doesn't see, the radio operator is already transmitting. 000, contact Panzer Mark IV grid 547328 advancing northwest. 015, transmission reaches Company B. 704th Tank Destroyer Battalion. 3 M18s in reserve, 800 yards east. Lieutenant Morrison. 2nd Platoon, move out. 030, Weber's crew continues advancing unaware. The commander scans for threats, sees nothing. 045, 3 M18s race through forest following a trail that brings them onto Weber's flank. Driver Beck has throttle wide open. Engines scream. One's on. Weber's driver reports low fuel. Weber makes a mental note to radio battalion headquarters at the next checkpoint. He never makes that call. 115. M18s break from tree line 400 yards to Weber's right. His gunner spots them. Contact right. American armor. Traverse right, Weber shouts. The Panzer RFO's manual turret traverse is agonizingly slow. The gunner cranks as fast as he can. 125, Corporal Treat has the Panzer IV centered in his sight. German tank broadside, range 400 yards. Easiest shot he'll ever take. 130, fire. The 76-meter round hits below the turret ring, punches through 30mm side armor. Inside, the round fragments, killing the loader, wounding the driver. Continues through, strikes ammunition rack. Explosion is instantaneous. Weber realizes what's happened. No time to react, no time to give orders, no time to... The Panzer IV brews up, flames erupting from hatches. No one escapes. Target destroyed, Schedevy reports, his voice flat. Professional. This is his 4th kill this week. Total elapsed time, 90 seconds. For Weber, it was 90 seconds too late. By the time they identified the threat, American guns were already positioned. By the time they tried to respond, shells were in the air. In the new calculus of armored warfare, 90 seconds was an eternity. Time enough for a radio call to reach every unit. Time enough for M18s to race from reserve to optimal firing points. Time enough for gunners to acquire targets and fire. For American tank destroyer crews, 90 seconds was just enough time. For German Panzer crews facing that network, 90 seconds might as well have been 9 seconds. By the time you realized you were being hunted, the hunters had positioned themselves for the kill. The doctrine worked. The network proved itself. Not through heavier armor or bigger guns, through speed, coordination, and the ability to concentrate lethal force faster than the enemy could react. 90 seconds to death. And for thousands of German Panzer crews, 90 seconds was all the time they had left.